I've been really anxious to understand MAGA voters. Good God, they're a wild bunch. I was curious to see how accurate some of those earlier polls were. You remember when the Dominion suit first came out and the Tucker texts came out and people asked Fox viewers what they thought of all this? Well, it turns out there was about I think it was a 18% drop in Fox, in trust for Fox. That's huge, man. That's huge. Damn near 2 in 10 viewers no longer trust them. Good. Doesn't even mean that they're going on to better sources of news, but look, that's progress. We want them not trusting Fox because, and I'll let you in on a little secret, Fox lies. They shouldn't trust that news organization. Well, CNN recently talked to 4 Fox News viewers. And they asked them about details of the Dominion trial and the settlement. And they asked them what they thought of it all. And it was fascinating. What do you say we watch it together? I'm going to be curious to hear what y'all have to say coming out the other side. I'm going to be hooting and hollering and laughing basically throughout it.
Fox has to pay Dominion Voting Systems $787 million for making false statements about the voting machines. It was a huge story for the past 2 years in the media world, but very rarely mentioned on Fox. So what do Fox viewers know about what happened? I sat down with a group of them to find out. Here is our Pulse of the People. Show of hands, how many of you had heard about this 2-year legal battle between Dominion and Fox before our producer called you? 2 of you had heard about it.
I was aware of the claims that had made against Dominion and the allegations of voter.
Let me jump in there. First of all, I think that one guy was the Jake in the crowd, as I called him. Let's go back. Yeah. So she said only 2 of you had heard. Okay, yeah. So she did catch him. That's where we need to start working. Even if it was even if it was 3 of them had heard and just 1 hadn't, but no, clearly it was 2. Okay. Oh, wait. Yeah. Even if that was the case, you gotta contact that last person. Don't let Fox viewers ignore this. This is crucial. We let Tucker, back when he was a Fox News personality, ooh, that feels good to say. We let Tucker get away with saying that no one should take his show seriously, and then he went on like nothing happened. Most of the preaching we should be doing over the next couple of weeks, if you get the opportunity, just look for it. Keep your eyes peeled for it. Tell them about the basics of the Dominion case. Fox conceded the better part of $1 billion to Dominion rather than argue with them in court. The better part of $1 billion. It's not like they paid him $500,000. All right, get out of here. Our lawyers cost more than that. Nope. They paid Dominion real money. Also bring up the fact that the Fox hosts who were spreading these lies knew that they were lies and have no respect for the people that watch them. Those will be the people you're talking to. Fox hosts have no respect for their viewers. Make sure they know that.
I was aware of the claims that had made against Dominion and the allegations of voter fraud more broadly. I just wasn't aware that Dominion had filed essentially a defamation suit against Fox.
How many of you are surprised by the $787 million settlement that Fox agreed to pay to Dominion for broadcasting false information about the voting systems? None of you. Reagan, your thoughts?
It was damning to Fox. So at some point, you have to make a business decision on both ends. And I thought, it would probably be in Fox's best interest to settle.
Obviously, Fox made those claims in some capacity, and Dominion took issue with it. So, okay, they sued them. What I came away from the court filing with was a lot of this is a matter of opinion.
This has been over a year, correct? So for them to come to the table with no evidence to back up their claims, that's really frustrating, because it's, quite frankly, we've had millions of Americans that have been doing their homework since 2020. It's pretty easy to find some funny stuff.
Let's just be clear about what she was saying right there, because that's one where I had to back it up and listen again. She was saying that she was disappointed, at least, and tell me if I got this wrong. She was saying that she was disappointed that Fox didn't come prepared to back up their claims. Then she said, we've had millions of Americans who did their homework. There it is. There's the problem. She doesn't understand that these people who, quote unquote, did their homework were wrong. They were misled. Part of doing their homework used to be including clips from Fox. There's a pressure point. Use it.
Wondering how you feel knowing that one of the things that came out during Discovery was how different the hosts felt behind the scenes than what they were saying on the air. For instance, when Tucker Carlson said behind the scenes after the election on November 23rd, 2020, he says, I had to try to make the White House disavow Sidney Powell, which they obviously should have done long before. Laura Ingraham in her text responds, no serious lawyer could believe what they were saying.
Well, I'd lost trust in them prior to that.
Again, look where her loyalty lies here. Look where this lady is. She's clearly the most wackadoo. Just starting first with what she wants to believe, and then looking for people that are saying that. And, that is very much a Republican way of thinking. But she has no understanding that it's flawed. And I'll even go farther. If she truly believed that the election was stolen, it wasn't. But if she truly believed that, and she was looking to prove that, there would be legitimate ways to go about it. There would be legitimate stances you could take. None of them she's put forward, because nobody, including Donald Trump and his team, have been able to demonstrate that that was so. So I would want to see her saying, why didn't they investigate X, Y, or Z? Problem, and we used to hear that all the time, by the way. Problem is, those things have been investigated. Whatever wacky thing, the bamboo, the satellites, this, that, yeah, they've been debunked. So now she's just saying, oh, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed they didn't believe the lie that she believes. So she's saying she lost trust in them because they didn't believe the lie. Because not because they were lying to her, but because they didn't believe the lie they were telling her. When somebody is this blind, you can take advantage of them. And I'm going to recommend we do take advantage of them. I'm going to recommend we wave a red cloth and let these particularly far gone MAGA people charge right through it and off a cliff. But we'll get into more of that stuff later. For now, let's just keep understanding these folks.
Anyway, when Fox was calling out the election, I know a lot of people felt this way. They were calling out the election prematurely for Arizona. And then after that, there's been a lot of talking out both sides of their mouth.
The audience is not looking to be lied to. It's looking to give context to something that we know is true from a certain perspective, and that's got a value. But there's a line.
Let's have him say it again. He's saying the audience is not looking to be lied to. But they're also not looking to be informed, are they? No, they're what they are looking for is a plausible lie. That's what he's saying he wants. He wants a plausible lie. Give me a way I can talk about this from my political stance. Don't ask me to change my political stance. Just give me a way to talk about this from my political stance.
After that, there's been a lot of talking out both sides of their mouth.
Give it one
The
more
audience
time.
is not looking to be lied to. It's looking to give context to something that we know is true from a certain perspective, and that's got a value. But there's a line not to cross. And once you know that something is not true, you need to let them know, because then they can move on and accept that the conservatives lost this last election, not because of some nefarious deep state shadowy thing.
So, Allison,
Oh my God, there's hope.
you spoke about, certain Fox hosts knew about this, but they went forward with it anyway. One, I'm really happy that they have divergent opinions in private, and they say, gosh, I'm not really sure about this.
I think they're going to learn a lesson. This lesson happened to cost them $787 million, which is a number I can't hardly imagine. But
And what is that lesson,
did learn
Ryan?
it,
I
I
mean,
hope.
but what is that lesson?
well, I think that lesson is that the news should be based wholly on truth.
There's a certain level of willful blindness, but people see what they want to see. And that's true on the left and it's true on the right. But I don't look to any of
Do remember the purpose of the nonsense you see from Fox News and MAGA Republicans and OAN and all of the right-wing propaganda is to get people saying what he just said, just now, is to pretend like their evils are the same across the board, to pretend like their dishonesty is the same across the board, to pretend like everybody's duplicitous, everybody's lying. Up there is a great example of the propaganda working. Say it again, my misinformed
and
brother.
that's true on the left and it's true on the right.
No, it isn't. No, it is not. But he believes it is because the January 6th committee had a lot of politicians with a D next to them standing up and saying, this is bad, this is horrible, this is something that we should all be concerned about. It included 2 Republicans who got labeled as rhinos saying, this is bad, this is horrible, this is something we should care about. Then Marjorie Taylor Greene got up in this session of Congress. This is bad, this is horrible, what Democrats are doing. This is something we should care about. Jim Jordan. This is bad, this is something horrible, this is something we should care about. They're breaking the law. The Democrats are breaking the law. To the uninformed, it sounds the same. If you don't care about looking at the actual facts, it sounds the same. It results in that jackass. They're not the same.
But I don't look to any of the networks, including Fox, as the ultimate arbiter of truth.
One more question. Show of hands.
I look to freedomeagle.net for my truth. And they tell me that it's the Jews.
How many of you will still be devoted Fox watchers?
I mean, not sure if it's devoted, but I'll
Okay.
still partake.
So three of
I'm
you.
used to being the odd man out. That's okay.
So guys, of the three who are still going to be Fox watchers, Ian, will you take what they say with more of a grain of salt now?
Hold up. Take a note of who said they weren't going to be a devoted Fox watcher. Take a note. In my opinion, the most far gone in terms of falling for propaganda is, well, no, it's actually that guy, but the most MAGA-y person was that lady right there. But she's the one that says she's not going to be a devoted Fox watcher anymore. Why is that? Well, what did she say? Cheesed her off the most when she said she no longer trusted him. Yeah, it was the lies. It was the insults. It was the fact that Fox was duplicitous. That's how you attack it. Point out the hypocrisy. And look, your MAGA community members are going to be maybe one of those 4 people. You got a 25% chance of making them 100% better as human beings. Take it. You might be successful, you might not. If you don't successfully sway someone away from Fox, you will leave there being more experienced in the attempt. And in a country where, 74, 72, however many million people voted for Trump, you will have plenty of opportunities to talk people off of the crazy ledge. I make efforts to try to attract MAGA folks to this channel. I'll let you in on something. It's not because I think it's going to grow the channel. It's not for my benefit. It's not for their benefit either. It's for your benefit. It's to give you practice dealing with them. It's easier to deal with them in this context. Yeah, it's a little annoying. We have mods now for that reason. But it's good practice. Because we are going to be preaching the gospel. We're going to be preaching the good word of democracy. Practice makes perfect. Ideally, perfect practice makes perfect. But practice.
As I stated earlier, I take everyone with a grain of salt.
Reagan, what about you? Will you be listening to Fox through a different lens, taking it more with a grain of salt, or?
You should always look within when something, big like this happens, a big case like this. So yeah, I think there's going to be an extra filter on that lens when I watch Tucker.
Ryan, will you be watching through a different filter, as Reagan said?
I think I'm going to be expanding my net some more. Allison, you might be winning a new future viewer, but also, the things that Fox News is showing
CNN.
is not necessarily the things that CNN is showing. And expanding my net will be, I think, helpful so that I don't have these blind spots like this Dominion case.
Our thanks to our panel there. And if you want to comment on it, feel free to find me on social media at Allison Camerata.
Progress. These people respond to consequences. These people who are MAGA adherents in 2023 understand that they're a very different breed than the 2016 MAGA adherents. They're a very different breed than the 2018 MAGA adherents. Yeah, you're going to have a ton of people that were supporters from the beginning. But even they will have had to change to remain MAGA adherents. Because to support MAGA now, most of the hypothetical's gone. You can't pretend that they're going to do X or Y when they've demonstrated they don't. They're not going to help the working class. They're not going to be good at foreign policy. And yeah, you can You can say it to others, but we all lived through it. Remember, keep in your head. January 6th happened. An insurrection happened. MAGA has made it clear what they're all about. Fox has made it clear what they're all about. Republican Party has made it crystal clear what it's all about. Consistency is going to be key. Constant pressure. There will be no single great struggle that you have to endure, that you have to emerge victorious in order to win. In fact, looking for that works against us, the sane Americans, the sane people of planet Earth. With these right-wingers, with the right-wing authoritarian trend that is happening around the world right now, consistency will be key. Not only because that's how politics works in most places around the world and emphasized to a comic degree in America, but also because it's something that right-wing authoritarians can't keep up with. They cannot stay consistent because they're reactionary. If they find out a minority exists, they must find a way to be against it, and usually they're going to end up contradicting something else they said. Consistency will be key, and it's also easier to remember. Fox lies. Keep slamming that message home. There's 100 different ways you can say it. You can say they lied knowingly about the Dominion voting machine conspiracy theories. That's true. They did lie about that. You can say they lied about how they felt about their audience, and you could name Laura Ingraham and Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson. They all disparaged their audience, and that's true. They did do that. Rupert Murdoch lies. Rupert Murdoch, let's not forget, ran the newspaper The News of the World, which hacked into a kidnapped girl's email account and had her mother convinced that she was still alive and signing in from elsewhere. No, that was just Rupert Murdoch hacking into a kidnapped and deceased, it turns out, kidnapping victim's email account. That's who we're dealing with. Just keep bringing it up. Said it before, I'm going to say it again. Victory is inevitable. And the better we are at this will determine how quickly it arrives. Sooner is better. Sooner is better. But the victory will happen regardless.